And then a friend of mine says, there's a meeting being held on Ngong Road, a place called the iHub. Have you been there? I was like, no, I haven't been there yet. It's like, yeah, they just opened a month ago. Come over, let's meet there. Ndio tuende kule nyama mahali. Just the usual. Me, I was like, okay, are they techies? They're like, yeah, they're techies, you like them. Man, I walked in there at the iHub, there was a meeting. I found my world. Sasa nimetoka Uganda house. Nimekuja kutembea iHub for the first time. I was like, this is so good. The conversations were so rich. It's like I found people who think like me, process like me.
You found your peers who...
Yeah. And then only to realize I had such an extensive business development knowledge compared to everybody else in the room.
Whoa.
So that was my key. But I had stopped doing softwares and now I was no longer a software person.
Yeah.
And so I walked across the office for the iHub to the other side, and that was the Nailab. And there was a guy called Tony Ndongo, one of the most amazing human beings. Like, you know, energy, you know, smart, clever, and we just clicked like this. And so he was like, hey, you do this. Come sit with me on this side because I'm struggling with some business development issues. Work something out. I said, okay. That was the beginning.
That's great.
A year later, I know we switched over. He needed to go for a sabbatical. I bought it from him.
Okay, no, dude, you can't just run through this Nailab story like that, bruh. I ain't gonna let that happen. It's nothing.
We had some crazy times.
No, okay, let's start. So, okay, now this so he had already started Nailab at this time.
He had started it, like he had already established. So the space was big, empty, only one table, 4 seats.
Yeah, and for people to understand, if this is the first time they're hearing about Nailab, what was this space that time?
At that time was the beginning of social media and the impact social media could have on business. So very few Kenyans had gotten Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts, and they were just talking.
Yep.
Yes. So Tony had built this space where social media consultancy could work. Yes.
How come
It was very early, very early.
Yep.
So we were dealing with companies in Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi. I was traveling those countries, teaching them how to do social media as Nailab. How to open a Twitter account as an NGO, how to open a Facebook account, how to connect people with these tools so that you can reach a bigger community of who you're serving, how to build a community around an NGO using some of these tools. It was very new.
So you, Kwani, what are you doing on Twitter? Had you already joined Twitter?
Me, I had like 200 followers. They were mostly, I knew all of them. They were techies. And I wasn't active. Yes, so I wasn't active.
It's not like today. The way
today.
Hashtag, follow Sam Gichuru on Twitter.
There's there. I honestly can't tell where my numbers grew, but because I also never pushed for following.
Yeah.
But there were very few then. So Tony's, we start changing. 6 months later, I feel like this needs to be more than just a social media space. It needs to be an incubator or to be an accelerator. But the only incubators or accelerators I'd read about were on TechCrunch.
In fact, I was going to ask you, how do you know about incubators?
Yeah. I've read about them in Silicon Valley.
TechCrunch, the book now, or you go to the website?
The website, the TechCrunch website.
Okay,
So
you had already started going to that website from way back.
Yes, I was reading TechCrunch and Mashables. And so I have some savings. And I go like, I'll go to America.
No, this guy is not serious.
I'll go to America and see what this thing is.
And of course, you've been out of the country, so you've gone to...
This is my second trip. I had never left the country. So our first trip was 2008. So when I was dating my wife, I told her, if we're successfully get married, maybe we can go to the States. So we get married, and my wife goes like, you remember that promise? So I went to Uganda house. Hustle. And then we went to the States and stayed in
Relas.
Yeah, I stayed with Relas for about 2 weeks. She came back. Then she left me there for a couple of more weeks.
And why did you stay there those couple of more weeks?
I just felt like I had not seen enough.
Okay, dude. So this is the first time that you're leaving the country. The first time you left the country, it wasn't through Uganda or Tanzania?
It was Zanzibar. No, first time leaving the country on a plane or first time kuvuka boda na miguu. Kuvuka boda na miguu ilikuwa Tanzania. Ilikuwa gafu hivi. Namanga Kimana hapo hivi tukaingia kacheza kidogo tukarudi. So that was the first time. The second time was I did a road trip with my wife
Okay, but these are more leisure.
These are more leisure.
Yeah.
Then the first time on Andege, I went to Zanzibar. So this is the second time I'm on a plane.
Okay, now you've gone to the States.
Yes.
So of course you with your wife, you have the pleasure and all of those leisure. Then now she leaves. For you now it becomes business.
Yeah, first you had to come back to work. So for me, it wasn't even business. It was just exposure. Now something important really happened on my second week in America. I went to order for some food. I was living in a very predominantly Jamaican neighborhood. So my brothers-in-law lived.
What state?
Bronx. I was in New York. I was in the Bronx.
Okay.
And so I went, and nikasimama pale, ule boy, nilikuwa old sasa. So already I'm past 25. I can't remember how old I was, probably 27. This kid who was like 19, 20. And he's like, what can I do for you, sir? What can I get you? Na confidence. Mimi nikastama. So I wanted a burger with some fries and a soda, so I was trying to read. Like, sir, can I help you? I was like, mtoto kwa nini na madharau? Nikaitisha ile tu. Alafu na change pia, that's $22, $2 and whatever. Nikatoa do nikapatiana. So nazihesabu tu na wasiwasi. And he told me something, that I had come from an education system that did not build on your confidence. This child was so confident. He was years younger than me, but the way he asked me what I wanted and the way he processed and the way he did, and then as soon as he was done, he was like, next please, and somebody else stepped up. Nilipokaa hapo tu nikamwangalia tu hapo hivi akifanya job. Nikasema hiyo ndio ile confidence nataka.
Yeah.
Our education system does not allow us to be bold, look at you straight in the eye and ask you a question. Yet the world expects that.
Yep, it's true.
You're still stuck in the culture of kuangalia chini. So it was such a powerful moment for me. And it ties in a lot with what I'm doing today. Because the idea of Kidato right now is to produce such confident children who will ask you why. Who will say, excuse me. Who will say, I did not understand that. Okay, please repeat it again. That they will not take it that it's them who are dumb or stupid, but they'll say, clarify for me. Because in between the years, between that point and today's point, I have gone to meetings where I did not understand anything that was being said. And I'm like, what are these people talking about? Only for me to later to learn, this is just NGO talk. This is how they talk. They just mean simply 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And it takes you a while before you realize, wow, all these big words mean very little. Just say what you want to say. And so if I had more opportunities to ask them to clarify, I'd probably have done better, maybe. But anyway, that child, that moment in the Bronx changed my life, in that the desire to have kids who are really confident and sure of themselves. And so I started becoming confident myself. From
a tech perspective, from your world perspective, what did America do for you?
Why, Maze, my brothers had, I think, 20 MB straight to their house. Internet access.
Yo!
Unasemaje? I was like, wow. Anyway, we sat there and looked and we were like,
hey,
I'm telling you, you're using the internet. Ukifungua hiyo Yahoo mail yako ama Gmail, inakuja tu pap. Then unaona where the future is going. And suddenly, you're seeing all these gadgets that are coming in and all of these, things. Like you walk into Best Buy and you see all this beautiful. Ilinifungua macho sana. It told me there was a world outside Kenya. I was very ignorant before, by the way. Nilikuwa wala sasa mami siwezi enda state, unaenda kufanya nini? Wacha nikaya hapa. Watu ongea hivyo. Ni nini iko huko ambao siwezi pata hapa? After that, I knew I was going to travel the world.
Nice.
Yeah. So I came back home with the thought that I will travel the world one day.
And to get more exposure, more open up your mind even more.
And also the confidence. Because I realized the confidence is when you don't know something, you were more scared. Like right now, if I was to start a conversation about what? Electric vehicles. And you don't have any clue about them, and I sound like I want to engage you, utabaki unajisecond guess sana. Especially kama unataka kushow off.
Yep.
Unajua, so unaanza kufeel need ya kuongezea story. If some conversation comes around and you don't understand, you do feel scared. Now, I wanted myself to be in a position where first I understand a lot of things too. If I don't understand something, it's not because, I'm stupid. It's because I haven't met it or experienced it or encountered it.
Yep.
And that's why I am not able to have a conversation. And so I can ask for clarity. So there's a lot of, it's like taking small pieces of my brain, replacing them with new pieces that came over with a whole set of old experiences plus new instructions on how to respond to situations. I don't know whether that makes sense.
It makes so much. It's too much sense. It's what I do with CTA.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of asking about the stuff that I don't know, because I feel like it's an opportunity for me to learn. Okay, so you come back, and let's go back now to Nailab. So of course you're.
So this is years later. I want to start. So me and Tony start Nailab. I pack my bags. I say I am going to San Francisco, and I'm going to learn the things I need to know for us to run a good incubator, accelerator. Tony's like, okay, good. So I take my savings. That day I'd never forget it. I'm in a car going to the airport. Sasa nishapata ile visa 5 years. No, I hadn't gotten that 5-year visa. It was a bit earlier than that. I am going to the States. I'm already heading to the airport. I call my mom and say, I feel like I should go back. My mom was like, why? I'm like, I don't know, just my heart is tired and my spirit just feels burnt out. I shouldn't go to this trip. Mom was like, you're in a car, you're going there, go. Something good will happen. So first I've emailed, now this is many years later from the time I left Wananchi.
Yeah.
My former boss at Wananchi is the head of Google Africa.
Gichuru.
Yes. So I email him and say, I'm going to San Francisco, I'd like to visit Google, can you introduce me to somebody? He doesn't respond. So mi sijui mtu saizi. But nimejikaza tu. Mtafi?
You get that.
Nimesha book hostel. United States hostel in San Francisco. So najaribu nimeimagine Silicon Valley, ukishafika San Francisco, ukishafika Silicon Valley. Google, Twitter, sasa Twitter imeshaanza, ilikuwa very young. TechCrunch office, Stanford, unataka kuziona. Nishafika San Francisco kwa airport. Nishachukua train, nishani drop wapi, nishatembea ka distance, me drag bags, nishaingia kwa ile hostel, kwa reception. Akasema, so happy to be in Silicon Valley. Ule dem aliwa kwa reception, akasema, I'm sorry sir, but this is San Francisco. Silicon Valley is an hour away by train.